society justice that binds us together. Part of the responsibilities of an office like mine, or the various county attorney's offices, the prosecutors in our legal justice system, is to do justice, to seek justice, to find justice. We do so under the guidance of a constitution, an instrument developed at the very early years of this society, of this country. We have a constitution at the national level, we have a constitution on the state level, and then within those government structures, we adopt laws and rules, and they are to us tools that we can work with to try to combat the injustice that we see in our society. In regard to the particular event here, we're not willing to just stand by and do nothing. But you need to understand that there are limitations in our justice system, and it's this Constitution I spoke of. So we ask for your patience and understanding in that regard. There are strongly held feelings on these issues, and our job is to find a measured response, an appropriate response to the injustice that was perpetrated. The response that we'll make would be made, in my opinion, no matter what the religious practice or heritage or societal issues or race issues or whatever we were dealing with. This material was simply disgusting. I certainly don't want it posted in our community, and we will deal with it in that light. Understand too that we cannot talk about the specifics of the case, because the gentleman under our system of justice is entitled to due process, and that's just in the initial stages. So we need to work through that entire process. We're not going to try the case or discuss it here in a public forum. That would be inappropriate and would not be justice in the eyes of this society. What Matt's going to do is talk just a bit about how this case was processed. Let me say that I too am proud of the response of the community, of the police, and of the prosecutors, both the county attorney's offices and our offices, in the time and the analysis they put in to the case. We may have a professional disagreement on some of the conclusions in the county attorney's office, but it is that, and we're still proud of the effort and the work they put into it. The message to you is that we do care, we are concerned, and we will work these cases, be it this one or any other case that may come to our attention. And I think I can say that on behalf of the various county attorneys as well. They're not shy in handling matters like this, in seeking justice. We all do it every day. But understand we have limitations, and we need to ask for your patience. Matt?
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to describe for you and explain for you how our system has worked so far, how decisions were made, and where we are as we move forward. On December 14th, the St.Cloud Police Department identified Mr. Sidney Allen as the person who posted anti-Islamic material on utility poles throughout our community. Mr. Elyea was largely cooperative with police, and he confessed to posting these materials on 10 separate locations throughout our community, including utility poles in St. Cloud, located in Stearns County and Benton County. As the chief explained, the police department felt very strongly immediately. They reacted with revulsion to the images that they were confronted with, and it was felt immediately that the material was obscene and not protected, falling outside the protection of the First Amendment. So the case was compiled and it was forwarded on to the Stearns and Benton County attorneys. They have jurisdiction over obscenity crimes. Obscenity crimes are gross misdemeanors, punishable by up to 1 year in jail and or a $3,000 fine. And it is their job and their jurisdiction alone to determine charges under that statute. When the county attorney's offices determined that there were no applicable felony or gross misdemeanor charges, it is the normal course to forward the case file onto the city attorney, in that case our office, for review of any appropriate misdemeanor charges or ordinance charges. We spent many hours over the course of a couple of weeks once we received the case in thinking inside the box, thinking outside the box, trying to find Minnesota statute misdemeanor that we could charge in this case. Inside the box, we were thinking about disorderly conduct. Outside the box, we thought about a form of harassment. And ultimately, after discussing it, we felt that a criminal prosecution under either of those two charges would ultimately fail. So we were left with what we had on our city ordinance books, and that is posting on a utility pole. And it sounds silly to some maybe, and it certainly isn't what we had hoped we could do, but it's what we're left with. And we thought about a couple of different courses of action. One course of action would be to charge this ordinance violation in district court. If we were to go that route, Mr. Elyea could simply pay a $100 fine without even having to appear in court. That did not seem sufficient to us. So we decided to exercise our option to pursue this administratively through our administrative enforcement process. And so last Friday, St.Cloud police officer issued an administrative citation to Mr. Elyea, levying $500 in fines. This is normally a misdemeanor under our code of ordinances. Through the civil process, it's simply an offense or infraction. What we hope to gain through this process is to hopefully in the future have some discussions with Mr. Elyea. We'd like to speak with him. We'd like to make some efforts to educate him. I suspect he's never had a conversation with a Muslim, which is ironic since he has such strongly held opinions. So we hope to spend some time with him, hopefully educate him, enlighten him, and he can meet some of his neighbors. That's one of our goals. In the coming weeks, Mr. Elyea will have to make a decision whether he wants to pay a fine or whether he wants to contest the matter. He's already made some statements through his attorney that he wishes to contest it, but we'll see. If he does contest it, we will prosecute it vigorously and fully. And as Jan said, it's inappropriate for us to comment further on that case because we have a case to prosecute. And so we're focused on that at this point. Thank you.